Today we're taking on flavors that probably every Pole remembers from childhood. Classics of Polish cuisine, but made in an air fryer. Can this actually work? We wouldn't be ourselves without taking on this challenge. So sit back, leave a like on this video, and write in the comments which Polish dish is definitely one of your favorites.
Well, good morning, my dear viewers. Today, Polish dishes. And since I love one Polish dish like chicken broth and I eat it in an unusual way with honey, for the first time in my life, I'll be making chicken broth in an air fryer. And for this broth, we need an onion, soup vegetables, a quarter of a chicken, a beef soup bone, allspice, bay leaf for seasoning, and parsley. I'll cut this onion in half since it seems too big. We put it in the third drawer, and here we add all the vegetables, and the onion too, of course. It will add flavor, caramel, everything to this broth. We put the chicken here, a quarter, but chicken cooks faster than beef. That's why, boom, we put it in separately. Hop, oh, it's going to be good, wow. And now, all that's left is to set the air fryer. Boom, we click vegetables, 200 degrees, 50 minutes, so they cook well. Now, next is the right chamber. There's beef here, and we'll also set it to 200 degrees and 50 minutes because it takes longer to cook. And finally, we have the left chamber, also 200 degrees. But it's chicken, and it just cooks faster, you know? It gets done quicker. So we set it, boom, temperature 200, boom, time and time. We'll set it to 30. Of course, in the meantime, we check on it, mainly turn the vegetables because they might get too roasted or something, you know? All right, my dear ones, 50 minutes have passed, everything is baked, but look, here you go, Kubush, let's show it. Oh, this is the chicken, you see how nice and browned it is, and I almost feel bad to eat it. Let's take another piece of meat. Ooh, well, you can see it's a soup portion. All right, let's move it, there we go, great. Oh, look at how much fat there is. And finally, the vegetables. I'm actually a bit afraid of them. They might be a bit burnt, which isn't nice, but let's put them in. Oh, but look at the color they got. Did you see that? Right away, so golden. It's coming together slowly. Oh, the broth is loaded. But now, like I said, we'll rinse it. It's good to get all of this out. I'm pouring it in. We'll rinse it all. All right, and I'm pouring in the second one. There we go. Oh, look at that color. Oh, wow, my wife won't believe me. We're pouring in this creme de la creme. Oh my God, delicious. Of course, you have to cook it and for a very long time. So now we're putting the broth on for 3 hours, let it come to a gentle boil. Then it'll just simmer for 3 hours. And then after that, of course, everyone seasons it however they like. Maybe some bay leaves. Once I almost choked, oh my God, there were 4 allspice berries in the beets, and now there are 5 allspice and parsley. At the very end, I'll be the one to do it. All right, so let's put it on the pot and we'll see each other in, oh Jesus, a whole 3 hours. 3 hours later, well, it turned out beautiful, beautiful. You know what? I've already taken everything out. Let's try it. See how it is. It's good. I'll tell you it's good, but I think I'd add a bit more salt. First thing, because I didn't add enough at the beginning, so here we go. Class, pure class. So before I call them over, this is the magic ingredient. Give me some normally first. Hey man, you're eating yours with honey. Give me the broth, but I wanted you to see, and now he's gonna come for me and we'll see. At least let me have 2 spoonfuls and you'll add more yourself in a moment. All right, but it's nice, guys, what's going on here. I'll be honest. It was my first time making it. I had no idea you could combine 2 types of meat like that.
Yeah, the color is really beautiful.
Damn.
You see half of the bone.
You can feel it. No, that's the end. Damn awesome.
I usually make it more with poultry, not with bones, halves, just with poultry. And you can really feel a completely different quality in that broth.
And now give me that honey.
Oh wow, that's different.
Krzysztof, I don't feel anything yet.
Krzysztof, I feel it.
I'm cured. Just give me more honey.
It's like, it tastes as if the vegetables caramelized and released all their sugar into this broth. No, it's just damn totally different.
It's not a weird mix. I really like it. Everyone would like it. It's not such a different taste that someone wouldn't like it. No, but believe me, it's so sweet, aromatic, awesome.
It's molecular cuisine.
Well, when you've been learning for so many years.
No, but what does this migration from human dimensions mean?
Thank you for testing, and let's move on to the next one.
Dear friends, Polish cuisine cannot do without meat patties, and I'll show you a healthier version of them, namely not fried in a pan, but made in an air fryer, and they can still be juicy and crispy. I start by soaking a Kaiser roll in milk. Let it soak here, and in the meantime, let's get to the onion, and I chop it into very small cubes. Listen, I put out 2 onions here, but honestly, for this amount of meat, 1 is more than enough. Here's the thing. Not everyone does this, but this is how I make these cutlets, because some people add raw onion to the meat. This is about 600 to 700 grams. But I first saute the onion in butter, so I put butter and onion into the air fryer, let it cook for a bit, and of course I stir the onion from time to time. Of course, we can add a bit of salt to help the onion soften faster. Listen, the onion is cooking here. You can see everything clearly through the window so we can watch it easily. And in the meantime, I'm adding a spoonful of Dijon mustard to the meat, salt, pepper, marjoram, and garlic. And now look, I'm tearing up the Kaiser roll and tossing it in all crushed up, adding an egg, and then kneading and mixing everything together by hand. I got ahead of myself and wanted to knead everything together, but I forgot about the onion. I'll wait a little longer for it to soften. Maybe these aren't some super traditional cutlets like your grandma used to make, because not everyone uses the same ingredients. Usually, it's done a bit simpler. No garlic, no mustard. Dijon, though it varies by household. I'm waiting for the onion, then I'll add and mix everything. Of course, just so you know, the onion has been left to cool for a while, so it's not too hot. And now the question is, what kind of patties do you make? Did your grandma or mom make them more round or a bit flatter? We pressed the breadcrumbs in a bit so that half the flour doesn't fly off in the air fryer. I'm putting these 4 patties into the air fryer. That's why I keep one hand clean, so I can easily put them in the air fryer. And I set the time to 190, and in the meantime, I'll make the rest of the patties. And the main thing, of course, is to take them out from time to time and flip them to the other side.
Oh wow, how nice the meat looks on the butter.
Man.
Listen, maybe it's not all as hot as it should be, because I really tried my best.
Someone is serving lunch at lunchtime?
I garnished it a bit generously for you, because I see that even some of the oil has run off.
I don't know if I'm impressed.
But it's ground meat.
I'll tell you, that's what's beautiful and better than making it in a pan, because when you put it in a pan, it often soaks up oil, but here it's baked. Really juicy on the inside, dripping on the outside.
I went back in time. I'm at my grandma's place. It's really delicious. That's how I remember it when grandma made it.
I have to congratulate you. You took 2nd place.
Marta.
I love you. You make the best meatballs. I love how they are, but they're 2nd. Arky.
I think we can safely say for now that we can be ambassadors of Polish cuisine like a real meatball. I wouldn't be ashamed to serve it at a party. I wouldn't be ashamed to give it to anyone.
But if you want me to keep recording this series, write in the comments. Tell me which country's air fryer dishes you'd like to try.
I'll give an ask for a 10. Whoa.
They're real connoisseurs. Whoa. I'll give it a 10.
I doubted you could do this with an air fryer.
Victory dance. I won't be worse.
I'm also giving it a 10 because I have beets and cucumber salad. One of my favorite dishes. I'm going to make bigos, real bigos. The kind grandma used to say tastes best the next day, and even better if you make it over 3 days. And I have a few ingredients, and now pay attention. This is my approach to bigos because that's how I do it at home. Cabbage half and half, whitened sauerkraut. I don't rinse the sauerkraut because I like it sour, and for as much cabbage as I have, I use the same amount of meat. For me, bigos is more about the meat and its juices in the cabbage than cabbage with meat. I'm going to make bigos in the air fryer. Because since I have 3 compartments, I could put a pizza down here in the meantime. But I won't do that because that's not a Polish dish. I'll cook cabbage in one pot and meat in the other, then combine them. We'll start with cabbage since it takes longer to cook. So here I have 250 grams of shredded white cabbage. And here I've also lightly chopped some sauerkraut, just for myself, and I'll mix it a bit in this bowl. Since this is an air fryer, it won't stew like it would in a pot. You pour some broth over it and it's romantic. I use a mix of spices for bigos. Honestly, you can find it in Lidl, Biedronka, in all the stores. We'll add a generous amount. I also add a bit of olive oil because it won't stew here. It's an air fryer, and it's hard to stew things in an air fryer. so that it doesn't stick, and that's about it. To keep the cabbage from getting baked, we'll put it in an oven-proof dish and press it down a bit so it doesn't spill out. I have about 100 milliliters of tomato puree here. That's my dish, my dear friends. We cover it with foil so the cabbage doesn't burn. Piascenina of the fryer. I put it in and it will take longer. We turn on the air fryer in the left pocket. Sometimes we go for 40 minutes. Yes, that's gonna be degrees. Here we'll have about 120 degrees. And now the simplest thing, the air fryer basket comes to me, and at first I'll do it for just a few minutes. I'll throw in the bacon, hop, and now here we go, right basket. And now like this. We'll lower the temperature a bit here because it's going to be 180 degrees. And the time will be about 25 minutes because in 5 minutes, we'll add more. It's cool because we have control over both baskets. 3 mushrooms, but that's enough. 2.5 minutes have passed. I'll add the mushrooms to our bacon. Let them release some water. The water will drip down. Man, that's fancy. No, but the smell is coming in now. I said we'd use half an onion, right? This will be like a Polish lasagna. What does the sausage think about that? You know, you take some good stuff, add it in, and on top of that, my meat, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and I'm moving on with it. My dear friends, what just happened in the last minute? All right, let's turn off the equipment. 50 seconds left, I can't wait. And yeah, oh, look at this guy. I'll record my buddy here. Look how he's spinning. I'll show you this. Pork belly, sausage, onion, mushrooms, all right? Careful. Cabbage for Bigos. It's going to be completely different from the one you know. Yeah, we don't worry about anything. Hop. The rest goes in. Here we pour in all the fat. Archie, since it's fat-free cooking, well, I'm pouring everything in, right? But I feel weird when the guy just watches and says nothing. Hop the rest. We didn't prepare to serve it nicely, Kuba, but it'll be good. So I'm taking it out and we'll be back with beautiful plates. Listen, let me explain right away. It's not hot anymore, it's different. Please, a review.
And I can have some of this.
I think now he gave us such bowls that he kept the good stuff for himself.
But it smells Jesus, the meat. This is probably the meatiest Bigos I've seen in a long time. Well, Martin, this is something else.
A little less concentrate unless you're making tomatoes.
I like tomato ones.
This is Bigos 2.0 kind of, maybe not improved, it's just different.
I'm super satisfied.
This is something
That should exist not as Bigos, but as Bigos by 5 people for.
I'll tell you, Claimer goes all out. He probably made it exactly the same.
I always do it like this.
I like it a bit simpler.
I have this kind of stew, really meaty, where you get a piece of meat and then right after you get another piece of meat.
At home, when I make a lot, I use 3 kilos each of cabbage and meat.
I'm really glad you didn't end up with just an ordinary stewed Bigos, all mushy and bland, because that's something everyone already knows. You refer to Bigos simply as Bigos, but now you find something else.
But you feel the flavor of something completely different.
But I would say everything is crunchy, everything is springy, but okay, it's not hard. I'll tell you, I was afraid of your reaction because you do cook, and when it comes to the basics, it's a bit strange.
You did well, really.
But if you don't want to cut almost anything at all, I actually did something interesting. Practically everything that was there, I bought already diced.
And when you buy cabbage already diced,
Well, simply pickled, shredded, damn.
then today it shouldn't be called Bigos, but rather meat stew. So, my dears, it's time for a classic Polish dinner. If you've never heard a meat tenderizer in the neighborhood on Sunday, you don't know what you've missed. That's why today we're going to make pork cutlet, but not the traditional kind, something you might already know, or maybe not, and that's pork cutlet in a potato coating. The team and the main stars are already on the table. A piece of pork loin, potatoes, eggs, spices, so things everyone knows. All right, my dears, let's start with the meat. Here we have a solid piece of pork loin, so it's up to you whether you cut it into smaller cutlets or if you just like having a big chunk, like a map of Poland, on your plate. In that case, of course, we cut it thicker in half and make a kind of book. Either way, we pound the cutlets with a meat mallet so the neighbors think it's already Sunday. And then we season them with salt, pepper, and your favorite spices. We set the meat aside for a moment so everything can develop some flavor, and in the meantime, we start making the potato breading. We grate the potatoes on a fine grater, transfer them to a strainer, and then squeeze out as much water as possible. Here's the key part. Starch remains at the bottom of the water, and instead of discarding it, we add the potatoes to it. This way, the potato mixture will become more compact and sticky, and later on it will also be crispier. To the grated potatoes, we add an egg, flour, salt, spices, maybe a bit of Parmesan, and mix it all until we get a nice potato blanket. Dear friends, the hardest part is already behind us. And now there are two methods of breading. Either you put the cutlet directly into the mixture and make a thin layer of coating, or you spread it out on paper, previously poked with a fork, and make a thicker layer. I recommend trying both methods. I chose to spread the mixture on the cutlet, so I gently spread it over the entire surface. We set the air fryer to 200 degrees and bake for 20 minutes, making sure to flip the cutlet to the other side halfway through and spread another portion of the potato coating on it again. And there you go, a pork cutlet that keeps the tradition but is served in a slightly new way. It's something like a potato pancake, but it's juicy inside, and everything is made without deep frying. For that, I'll thank you with all my heart. Let me know if you've heard of this coating before or if it's new to you. Cutlet from the air fryer. You treated me to a ground meat cutlet. I treated you to a pork chop cutlet. I invite you to...
Yours looks so nicely fried, I see.
To give it a try.
Nice color, and mine is a bit darker. All right, hold on, I'm trying it now.
The air fryer makes it not dry at all, it's clean. This isn't the usual breading you know from cutlets.
I can send some subtitles, production company.
The breading is made from potatoes.
Let me ask you, is this chicken or pork loin?
No, both are pork loins.
No, but you told me it was chicken and I tasted chicken. What happened?
I don't know if it's good or bad, which part is better, pork or chicken, but meat from the air fryer definitely comes out tender. So it's not, dried out like, that it gets stuck in your throat, no.
But damn, it's great. Surprising. If you make it for someone for Sunday dinner, you'll definitely get their attention and someone will say, hey, what is this?
Well, I'll tell you, that's exactly the point, because until now we've just been making cutlets. I wanted to serve something different. We had Bigos, Clamora, version 2.0. Did yours really turn out well? He'll start with these traditional cutlets, more traditional, yes. I wanted to serve our Polish tradition again, but kind of modernize it a bit. Because you can make them, of course, in an air fryer in the traditional way with a breadcrumb coating, but if you decide to use a potato coating, it's a different variation, just as good.
All right, I really like it. Honestly, it's clean. Today we're making stuffed cabbage rolls in the air fryer. But listen, Claimer, these aren't the usual traditional ones. And just so you know, don't write in the comments that these aren't stuffed cabbage rolls, because these are what some people call lazy or fake stuffed cabbage rolls.
Honestly, I really like them with cabbage inside, with chopped cabbage inside, just like that.
All right, okay, so what now? And Clamoros, since you're helping and supposed to be my third hand, let's start with the cabbage. We'll do that. We need to chop it up. All right, when you make it at home today, chop it a bit finer. That's okay. Half a cabbage is enough. We salt the cabbage and set it aside for a while. The point is for the cabbage to release its water, but in the meantime, you need to peel 2 onions and dice them, then saute the diced onions as finely as you can. You check on it from time to time, of course, to make sure it doesn't burn. Listen, look, first we'll drain the excess water, but chop it up and add it to the onions because the onions have already softened. So we add it in and of course, check on it from time to time. 400 grams of pork neck, 300 grams of pork shoulder and some rice.
I like it because you use 700 grams of meat, but only 100 grams of rice.
You'll only use 100 grams of rice. That's already quite generous. You see, I added a bit too much salt here. We know a bit, yes, well, a bit, there's quite a lot of pepper here. Oh, beds, even pepper. Ah, yes, that's enough, but all right, listen. There's a lot of meat, some rice too, and the egg goes in. We should let it cool down a bit.
But do you already want to add it? No?
Let's go, we'll add the raspberry. Okay, Sheriff, I think it's mixed. Cool, how much will it be?
Are you taking it by the scoop?
I'm not sure, but maybe gently wetting your hands first would be nice.
So tell me, will this be good?
It didn't stick, so what? We take it and shape it. We put it in, we bake it. Oh, how nice it looks.
Jesus, it smells so beautiful. Oh, Jesus, Archie.
Listen, there's an option. If you have more time, you can also calmly pour some sauce over it and keep it in the air fryer for a little while longer. We'll do it on a plate. We'll do it on a plate because there are different ways to do it.
fine for now.
It's not raw.
But it's springy, man.
Let me tell you, this sauce made it tangier.
But it's really good. The air fryer does something that seals it inside,
I love making ground meat and chicken in the air fryer.
but it goes in nicely. Actually, that's good. And I'm curious about this one. But this one might be different. Oh, wow, you put in so much chili, but it's completely different, so delicate, but the chili really made a difference too.
This sauce doesn't taste like mushroom sauce. Good job.
I'm going all out.
We're all used to tomato sauce, but this creates something different with the stuffed cabbage.
It gives a different, completely different taste. It's creamy, mushroomy, very delicate, and then the chili comes in with a kick every now and then. Damn, and what should I start with this? Oh, wow.
Tradition, yes, tradition.
So how do you eat it with the sauce?
Like with tomato sauce, right? Absolutely, this is delicious. I really like it.
I once had it with a different sauce, even more so than here.
So just add it like this.
Like if an Italian slightly broke the spaghetti.
He was making bolognese when he suddenly did this.
Interesting. Is that sacrilege?
Why don't we here never pour for a Pole, but it's unacceptable for Italians? Cappuccino after 12.
Bellissimo. No, you understand.
One edition in two versions.
Is
it one dish with two versions? No, it's just spicy.
Aha, you sprinkled it with cucumber, so yeah.
This is awesome.
They'll kick him out, right?
We're ending the episode with a smile. Do you know why? Because there are still 4 more to go. Also, the air fryer did a great job with Polish cuisine.